Hey everyone, Mark the Window Cleaner here. Welcome to another episode of Tool Talk, this show brought to you by windowcleaningresource.com. Today I want to talk to you about the Facelift Phoenix Waterfed Pole. There's a couple of varieties in the Phoenix line. There's the Phoenix Pro and the Phoenix X. I have the Phoenix X here, and it's a full carbon fiber waterfed pole, except for the bottom section. The bottom section on both poles, the Pro and the X, is made of fiberglass. That's simply for a little bit of a safety precaution in there. Hopefully it would never happen, but if you were to hit any kind of electrical wires, having a fiberglass bottom will certainly go a long way to protecting you to a certain degree. And the Phoenix Pro line waterfed pole, each section is a 50-50 blend of carbon fiber and fiberglass. So with the X line, which I have here, this is a 35-foot version. With brush head, I've got a reach it brush on it at the moment. Pole and brush weighs in just under 6 pounds. So it's a pretty nice light pole considering it is 35 actual feet plus your reach. I like to tell people, count a good 3 feet more for your reach. Some people like to say 4 or 5. But definitely this pole, this 35-foot pole, will get you up to 38 feet without having to struggle at all. Looking at this pole right away, there's a lot of nice features. The number one feature I think that has impressed me are the clamps. There's a lot of things built into these clamps that I like. First of all, you'll notice that these clamps are vertically mounted. One of the immediate benefits of that is that you can open them up or close them up with left or right-handed. So that's very nice. The other thing is, with them being vertically mounted, in a particular case where maybe you're doing a residential property and you've got some dormer windows that are sitting in back a bit compared to the lower section of the house. So you're reaching your pole over gutters, let's say, to reach those deeper windows. And your pole actually accidentally makes contact with the side of the gutters. With a horizontally mounted bracket or lever, if you will, hitting that dead on that horizontally lever, it's going to obviously do some kind of damage. With these being vertically mounted, it has a tendency to just kind of ride over and bump over the face of them instead of hitting them smack dead on. So these levers should obviously last a lot longer. On the one side of the lever, you've got a nut. On the other side, a bolt. And then what's surrounding that bolt is an actual dial. So when you open up the clamp, if you need to tighten or loosen these, that dial has a little indentation for your thumb and your forefinger, and you can easily just tighten or loosen as necessary. Now this pole arrived to me pretty much not needing any kind of setup whatsoever. All the clamps worked right from the get-go. Flipping it open, I could just go out a few inches, close it up. This pole's not spinning at all. I can go a little bit more. Again, it's nice and solid. Doesn't feel like it has any weak areas. Now, pulling the sections right out, you'll notice at one point it does change colors. That's to indicate that you've gone too far. So you can just pull that back and then close that up. And as you can see, these sections really do pull out quite easily. And the pole actually pulls apart at every section. Every section can come apart, so you can be working with whatever size pole you need for that particular height. You don't always have to be carrying around the full pole. The very top clamp is red, and that's to tell you that that's not an actual section above that red clamp. What that red clamp does when you open it up is it releases the gooseneck and brush assembly. So pretty much once you get your brush set up, you can just close that red clamp and pretty much forget about it unless you want to adjust it left or right. And up at the top, where the Euro thread would be, you've got the opening there for if you want to have an internally mounted hose. You can just bring it out there and into your brush head. And then of course down at the bottom you've got this nice thick rubber cap that's glued on, but it has a hole in the center too. So if you want to do internally mounted hose, you can just go up through the middle and come out through the top. Now, one of the other features I like about these clamps is that, and you've probably already seen this, if you've got the section up there, and let's say for whatever reason you're not paying attention, and or or you just lose your, you just let go of it for a second. The way these clamps are designed, they've got tapered tops and bottoms. You can have your finger in and around the clamp area, and that comes down. You can just see my fingers touching it, and there's no pinching. Obviously, if you have your finger in this part here, there's pinching, but other than that, it's pretty much a pinch-free clamp design. So that's really nice. And I told you that all the sections pull apart. You can just start off with the bottom there. That comes apart. Obviously at this point, because I've taken that bottom section off, which is fiberglass, now I'm holding this section here, the second from the bottom, it is full carbon fiber. So again, at this point I don't have that electrical conductivity protection that you have with the fiberglass. So you can keep pulling this pole apart, keep going. Pole's getting lighter and lighter as I need to work at lower heights, which is really nice. Sorry, my pole wants to go away on me here. There we go. And keep going lighter and lighter. Now, the top section does go out on its own. I just want to show you something about this top section. It is like, let me just put this here. It is like super thin. But amazingly, you see I'm shaking it around. It's not flopping all about. It actually is really, really strong. I'm surprised at how strong that top section is, considering how thin it is. But for me personally, I wouldn't really want to use this just by holding this top section alone. Only because my hands I have very long fingers, and my hands wrapping around this isn't too comfortable. So I probably still would have 2 or 3 sections at a time. That there feels a little bit more comfortable for me. Even though it's got, we're on 3 sections here, it is a lot more comfortable. It's a comfort grip there. And it probably only weighs at this point maybe 3 pounds. But still, very light pole, very rigid. And like I said, the sections slide in and out really nice. I've done a couple of jobs with it, and it feels pretty good. As far as cleaning, it's pure water is pure water, right? I have lent this pole out to another window cleaner. He's done a house and a couple of commercial properties, and had some pretty good feedback with this pole. So I think I think it's a winner. And the only negative I can say about this pole at this point is that it's built to be whatever it comes to. Like for instance, you buy a 30-foot pole, you've got a 30-foot pole. You don't have a 30-foot pole that will expand later to 40 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet, like some of the other higher, pricier poles out there. From what I understand is if you did buy a 25-foot pole, you could buy other sections, kind of bring it up to a 35 or 40-foot. But for the most part, I would recommend if you are going to go for this, just buy the longest length that you can afford at the time. And who knows, maybe somewhere down the line, Facelift is going to come out with ways to expand on the length of the poles as they are now. So go check it out, windowcleaningresource.com. I know I talked a lot about all the features, probably forgot some. Quite happy with what I'm seeing so far, and certainly worth checking out. One last note is I did get in a pro version, the 50-50 blend between fiberglass and carbon fiber, and it was a 30-foot version, and it weighed in at just over 5 pounds, 5¼ pounds. And I really was quite surprised at how light it was, and also how rigid it was, considering it was a 50-50 blend. So Facelift, the Phoenix line, I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. So again, check them out, windowcleaningresource.com, the Facelift Phoenix. Bye for now.